started out as a protest against the alleged crushing of free speech and free thinking in the country, but has it got political shades now? And more importantly, is it also about resisting another ideology that now wants to make itself heard? Joining us on the first debate on Newshour is Dr. Sambit Patra, national spokesperson of the BJP, Ratan Sharda, author and thinker of the RSS, C.R. Keswan, national spokesperson of the Congress, Vinay Shukla, filmmaker and writer, Professor Kamal Mitra Chinoy, professor at the Center for Comparative Political Theory at JNU, and Anandita Sarvadhikari, filmmaker, is joining us from Kolkata. I want to ask you first, C.R. Keswan, let's talk about what has started today, the conclave that has been started by the RGICS. Under one umbrella, we saw a lot of people who've been very vocal about this growing intolerance in the country. Doesn't their participation strengthen the allegation of the government that, in fact, this spontaneous movement is being managed behind the scenes by a political party, namely yours?
Incontrovertibly and unequivocally, there is a climate of intolerance and hate and prejudice which is prevailing in this country. And be it art, eminent artists, filmmakers, historians, or scientists, you should just see the whole, these people said it's manufactured, they're all against, they're anti-BJP. If all of them are anti-BJP, why didn't they protest during 1996 to 2004 when Vajpayee was leading the BJP?
No, I'm just asking you the specific question on the conclave that has started today. How come all of a sudden left liberal thinkers are coming to a Congress think tank event?
If you want to ask a question and listen...
But you're not answering my question, that's why I wanted to reiterate it.
If you intend... This is not a, a tick and, wrong, session. I just need to make a point and I need to come to the point. First important point, that is the problem, because the BJP is saying everything is manufactured. But what they're manufacturing in this country is hate prejudice. It's not make in India, it's hate in India. And let me give you an example precisely why, which will answer your question. I'll give you the example of Anil Kakotkar. Anil Kakotkar is one of the most senior scientists. He headed the Atomic Energy Commission. What happened in 2015? He's been the IIT director from 2006 to 2015.
But Mr. Keswan,
the selection of IIT, let me complete. You're interrupting me.
No, but Mr. Keswan, you're veering away from the question and you insist on making a separate point altogether without answering the question. This is not fair.
No, you're reflecting.
It can't work like that. When you're not answering the question, you limit ourselves to the one question.
First of all, Mr. Keswan, you're the only person who's shouting here.
When the Congress party wants to answer, you interrupt. Why don't you ask the Congress party a question?
Let's bring our decibel levels down. You're the only one shouting. 1 second. You're the only one shouting.
This is not fair.
Answer the question, which is about this conclave.
Is Anil Kakotkar manufactured? When Anil Kakotkar recused himself from the process of the selection of directors, he said it's run like a lottery because the BJP government is trying to impose people and you're failing to ask the fundamental question.
Okay, we will put your questions to Dr. Sambit Patra also. Mr. Keswan, if you would care to stop shouting and just answer the question about this conclave. There is a question being asked to you about this conclave where all these intellectuals are only too happy to come under the umbrella of a Congress think tank.
Even if they have a countermarch, people are,
Mr. Keswan, you say this is no way to hold a debate, but you're the one who's not letting anyone else talk.
You're questioning the essence of democracy. Please understand. Let me complete a sentence. Please don't interject. You please understand.
You have not stopped speaking. There is no question of anyone not allowing you to complete a sentence.
The Congress party a question. The BJP minister said the fourth estate is prostitute. He called the media prostitutes. You don't ask them the question and you come and ask for the
Of course we ask the question. Mr. Keswan, if you want to make this into a personal slanging match, then fine. Go ahead with that. Go ahead. But the fact still remains, if we're talking about a decent debate, it was a civil question that was asked to you. You could have just said that it's an apolitical gathering, but you choose not to do that. Anyhow, Mr.
Keswan, put the question to someone else. Since you're not willing to listen to the question or even stop speaking for 1 second, let's put that question to someone else. I'm going to go. No, you're not. You're not. Professor Kamal Mitra Chinoy. Professor Chinoy, let's come to you with that. Does it not require some amount of questioning if all these intellectuals who are against this, this intolerance, who are a part of this movement of Award Wapsi, many of these intellectuals now happy to come together on a platform which is clearly something that is aided and provided by a Congress think tank. Now, does that not at least beg the question that there is political support to this?
Well, I think you must differentiate between ideology and party ideology. the ideology of secularism is for tolerance. So for Arun Jaitley to say it's manufactured, that it's political intolerance is not fair. But on the other hand, those who are marching against that march also have a political right under the Fundamental Right Article 19 of speech and expression. And their understanding of ideology leads them to that march.
So what you're saying is that there is a clear political leaning here. There is a clear political leaning here.
Yes, but the Constitution talks of secularism. The Constitution talks of freedom of speech and expression. So you cannot prejudge the second march and say that they should not march unless you see what they have to say.
No, we're not saying that at all. In fact, it's interesting that you brought up the question of ideology, and that's what I want to ask Mr. Vinay Shukla. Mr. Shukla, you know, it's about freedom of speech. That's how this entire campaign was pitched. But would you agree that it's actually more about resisting an ideology that after decades is trying to make itself heard, which is the right-wing ideology? And the BJP is quite clear about that. That if there is an alternative history, if there is an alternative ideology that needs to be put in the public domain, what's the harm? And there is this strong resistance from the entrenched forces. Vinay Shukla.
Yeah. See, certainly there is ideological resistance. There is no doubt about it. And I have no hesitation in saying that. But the fact is that this right-wing ideology, as you put it, what it is doing is that it is marginalizing one section of the society. It is aiming at the minority. It is creating divisiveness in society, and that is what is hurting.
Okay, just give us a second here. I will come back to, you know, since you bring up that point, and we're the last ones to want to go back into history. It's the Congress party that, you know, keeps doing that, and the BJP keeps doing that. They keep doing it with each other. But this has to be brought up here. Now, coming back to you, Mr. Keswan, if you will answer the question, this entire sort of procession of award Vapsi started with Nayantara Sehgal, and the big question was asked. She was happy to receive an award from the Congress government, which was responsible for the 1984 riots. Now, if that wasn't questioned, why is everything being questioned now? That's the plain question that's being asked.
Let me reply to you. Please don't interrupt me, because we can have a civil debate. You asked about.
We'd love to have one.
Many people mentioned about Congress. Can I answer, if you please? You please learn to listen when you ask a question. I'm answering. See, there were people. What happened in '94 was condemnable. It was wrong. Any riot which happens, which results in the death of innocent people, is condemnable. Please understand that many of the writers criticized 1984. Many of the writers were, condemned the Congress government too. And please understand, many of these writers didn't return their awards during the 2002 Godhra riots too. The BJP is trying to give it a political color because their Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas is completely blown off the lid. They came on the blank of development. There is no Sabka Saath, there is no Vikas. Please look at this. There is no problems in difference of ideology, but the ideology is intolerance. Let me ask you one question. Please let me complete without interruption. I'll give you 3 instances, non-political, and which is why the Prime Minister's silence is suspect. First thing, when Mahesh Sharma, the Minister for Culture, said Abdul Kalam ji Musalman hote bhi Rashtrawaadi hai aur Manavtawadi insan. Despite being a Muslim, is a nationalist. Did the Prime Minister condemn him? No. He kept quiet. And what did they do? The government gave Mr. Kalam's house to him. When the RSS chief attacked Mother Teresa and said, her work is about proselytization and conversion, did the Prime Minister condemn? No. And when Sakshi Maharaj, praised Godse, the Prime Minister talks about, Gandhiwad. Sakshi Maharaj said, Godse, who talked about Gandhiwad, is a patriot. Did the Prime Minister condemn? No. And even recently... Okay,
so let the BJP answer that, C.R. Keswan. You've given 3 examples. You are entitled to your ideology, Sambit Patra and Ratan Sharda, but your ideology is divisive, says the Congress.
No, first and foremost, there's a famous English saying. Yes, I am answering. There's a famous English saying that volumes have been written, shows how little is known. You ask the Congress spokesperson, you ask the authors who return the awards as to why they are returning the awards. And they have been speaking since 10 days that these are the reasons, but they have not been able to convince anyone what are the reasons. They have not been able to define any reason. You ask Mr. C.R. Keshavan, he will go back to the Harappa age, saying that these were the reasons as to why we are returning.
You will be sent back to the dark ages.
You ask the award, just a second, sir, please be tolerant. You ask those who have returned the award and they will say that we were annoyed way back when we were born, we were annoyed then as well.
Answer the counterpoint that was made by Mr. Keswan. The point, Dr. Patra, was that there... One second, let him answer your questions. Yeah, we're putting your questions back to him.
To please be tolerant.
Yeah, so Dr. Shambit Patra, now you answer the question that can it be denied? Can it be denied? Yeah, we are asking exactly that question. Allow him to answer it. Allow him to answer it. Shambit Patra, yeah. So the question is that when you have the kind of statements that have been made by various leaders of the BJP,
I'm answering that.
You know, the question is, isn't that giving an air to this whole perception of intolerance?
Come, let me answer that. Number one, I remember the day when in Jaipur, on the stage was Sonia Gandhi, Manmohan Singh, and there in front of them, in presence of Rahul Gandhi as well, in front of them, Sushil Kumar Sindhe, the then Home Minister, said that in the RSS and BJP training camps, they train terrorists and they produce Hindu Athankwadis, saffron Athankwadis. Did the Prime Minister who was present then come up and say, well, yes, this is absolutely condemnable, this is wrong? No, they did not say that. Then no one returned the awards also then, because they felt these people, I mean, such kind of comments, Hindus can always be called Athankwadis, no issues. Secondly, as far as Digvijay Singh is concerned, Digvijay Singh on 26/11, when there was an attack on the Taj Hotel, the very next day Digvijay Singh said, Pakistan is not responsible, RSS is responsible for this attack. Did anyone return the award? No. Did Sonia Gandhi condemn? No. Then,
Padmaja, what about Amit Shah saying Pakistan will celebrate if BJP loses?
Please
talk about Pakistan. Amit Shah has been talking about Pakistan.
That's a valid question, Mr. Keswan. But you had your say. Let him finish what he's trying to say.
This is a campaign in Bihar.
Okay, that's a valid point. We've brought it up before. Let Shambit Patra finish what he's trying to say. We'll come back to you and we'll also get Ratan Sharda in on the debate. Yes, Shambit Patra, please complete your point.
Please, don't suffocate me. I'm very suffocated when you shout at me.
No, you're suffocating the country somewhere. Please tell that to Mahesh Sharma. Don't pontificate here. Don't indulge in homilies.
All right, gentlemen, let's get the debate back on track. Shambit Patra, you were answering a specific point about the kind of comments that were made by Dr. Mahesh Sharma.
You have a Manish Shankar here in Pakistan.
You talk about intolerance and you call Godse a patriot. You can't open your mouth and you come and talk about tolerance. What kind of a mockery is this?
Look at Keshav.
This is JNS hypocrisy and the whole country is seeing you. This is why you will be rejected in Bihar.
Look at
all right, one second, Mr. Keswan.
To the politics of polarization, you're indulging in dividing the people. Going to reject you in Bihar because your game is up.
As far as Bihar right now, the polling has happened. We'll know exactly what the people are thinking in about 24 hours from now. Ratan Sharda, let's go beyond this what about the end. You know, you did this in 84, where were you in 2002? Let's go beyond that. My simple question to you is, you are entitled to your ideology, to try and propagate your ideology. The problem is that a large section of intellectuals and the Congress party in the country think that in this ideology, there is a huge streak of divisiveness. That's why the protest.
Manish Shankar Iyer is in Pakistan.
Mr. Ratan Sharda.
Saying that Parvez Musharraf is the angel of peace. And today these people, the Congress people, are teaching us about
Yes, Mr. Ratan Sharda, go ahead.
Teaching us about
Dr. Patra, just a second. I think Ratan Sharda wants to come in.
Let me...
Sorry, I did not know that.
Yes, Mr. Sharda.
Let me... Mr. Mukul Keswan has taken the debate to new heights. I have to remove my microphone.
Mr. C.R. Keswan.
Let me come back to some normal voice level. I'll be very thankful. Yeah. Okay, Mukul Keswan. Sorry. So what I want to say, let us just don't beat around the bush by throwing stones at each other. Tu mein. Basic issue, rightly said. It's a battle of ideologies. It's a battle of ideologies between the so-called secular forces who believe that India was born on 15th August 1947 and there was nothing before that, and those who believe that India, that is Bharat, was born more than 5,000, 10,000 years back with a continued civilizational flow of Indian culture. This is the basic debate. Mr. Irfan Habib is the one who refused to see any proof, that was possible. They stopped the research about Indus and Saraswati River civilization. They stopped historians who did not talk their language from coming to their hallowed institutions. They removed R.C. Majumdar from history books, who was against their so-called scientific temper. These are the people who did not allow entry to Sitaram Goyal, who with all the proofs talked about what happened to 3,000 temples. He is the one who gave theory about what is happening in Islam and Christianity. His books were banned. His books were banned. And these are the people under whose Rajya, under whose rule Taslima was banned, under Salman Rushdie's books was banned.
So the point is this the first time
to talk about tolerance? They are the most intolerant fascist people in India today. Now because Hindus are answering back, they are feeling suffocated.
You've brought up...
Let them fight truth with truth, not by shouting.
No, 1 second, So let's go into the issue. 1 second. Mr. Sharda, since you brought up Irfan Habib, I think it's really important to bring up here. He's going to be part of this conclave, and he's someone who has made a statement which likens the RSS with the IS. Now, first let me get Ratan Sharda's response to that, and Mr. Keswan, you will then respond to that.
Ask Mr. Habib.
Is it a responsible statement to go to Syria, compare the RSS with the IS?
Ask Habib to go to Syria.
The RSS beheaded people. Yes, Mr. Sharda, your point on that.
Let him with the blessed ISI. He is enjoying his life in India.
The issue is simple. The issue is simple because this is
Mr. Keswan, Irfan Habib is enjoying his life in India. Let him go to Syria. Stay there for a week. Lecture them on secularism, on tolerance, on respect. Then I will understand. You have no shame in supporting him. It is an embarrassment.
Doing it now because the ruling establishment is involved. The ruling establishment and ministers. Sakshi Maharaj is a 5-time MP.
Yes, these are the people who ate away crores of rupees from the institutions. Mr. Habib and his gang never produced a book. They sat over for 43 years. They sat over books for 25 years. Made money without producing any work.
I think Professor Chinoy wants to come in. 1 second. You have to let others speak. Professor Chinoy, you wanted to make a point. You were shaking your head vigorously there. Let's allow others to speak also. Okay. 1 second. Professor Chinoy, please.
Making noise is not an argument, Kesavan. Make an argument.
You don't have an answer. Why is your Prime Minister
Professor Chinoy had a point to make, please, gentlemen.
If you don't have an answer, don't indulge in wisecracks. You're going to
I am taking to a higher level of debate. You are sticking into the mud. You want to stay in the mud. Kesavan, you cannot come out of the dirt. You cannot think positive.
He is not the Prime Minister of RSS, he is the Prime Minister of the country.
Let somebody talk about Prime Minister. Why should I? You have no ideological war to fight. You have no ideology.
Anandita Sarvadikari,
you have no ideology.
At this point,
so you want to bring in personality.
There is so much talk of intolerance, but of late we've seen the other side speaking out. For example, let's talk about yesterday. We had Mr. Bibek Debroy saying, today you are harping upon intolerance. What about the academics, the economists, the filmmakers, the thinkers, who in the last 10 decades have endured systematic repression by the regime at that time, Anandita Sarvadikari? What about that? So this shade of intolerance has always been there. Whoever is in power exercises it. It's unfortunate but true.
Studio. I can't hear what anyone is saying with Keshav.
So we're trying our best. We're trying our best, and we'll come across to you in a second, but I want to get in Anandita right now. Yes, Anandita.
No, do you have a question for me, or you want me to...
Yes, my question to you was that, right now there is an impression that there is growing intolerance because of the BJP government in power at the center. My question is, hasn't a certain amount of intolerance always been there, irrespective of who's in power? Maybe that's just the nature of power. When you're in government, you try and propagate your ideology, and an alternative viewpoint is not endured.
Yes, of course, but it has never happened to this extent. When I'm personally from Film Institute, Pune, that Gajendra Chauhan will be appointed the chairman. It has fraternization happened even in Vajpayee's time, but not to this extent. Not to this extent that free thinking voices have been murdered.
Intolerance?
Please let me speak. Please let me speak. I mean, I've been listening.
No, all right, go ahead. Go ahead. Make your point. Go ahead, make your point.
Be tolerant. Yeah.
But there's also the question of the 38 previous strikes that happened at FTII. Following which none of this happened. So we'll come to you with that also. But first, make your point.
No, that is one example I'm quoting. And when you question the intent, the integrity of the people who are returning the award, remember these were people the country awarded, the state awarded, thinking that they are good enough in literature.
Yes, but then there are, for each one of those, Anandita, there's also those intellectuals and those awardees who are completely slamming this. So when you say don't question this, aren't you then questioning the integrity who are standing up against this whole award wapsi? They are also great achievers in their own field.
Of course, but then you cannot quash my voice of dissent by saying that, you are motivated by Congress or so-and-so or political party. I have 3 friends. I have not received any national award. One of my friend is Mandakranta Sen from Kolkata. She received the Sahitya Academy Award. She even returned the money. And I have 2 friends, batchmates from FTI, Nishtha Jain and Kirti Nakfa. They are I can assure you, they have nothing to do with Congress.
All right, so they're not politically motivated, you say, but they are being run down despite that. Ratan Sharda, respond to that, and then Sambit Patra.
Of course, they are motivated politically. Politics is not of party. Politics is not of any party, does not just belong to any party. Politics also is of an ideology of what is good for your country, what is secularism.
So isn't that exactly what the government is saying? So you and a section will decide which ideology is good for the country. Isn't that a little unfair? Ratan Sharda, then Sambit Patra. Ratan Sharda.
The country has always been...
People, the left Marxist people live in negationism. Excuse me, madam. Leftist communists have been living in a state of negationism. They worship Stalin, who killed 20 million people in Russia. They worship Mao, who killed 55 million people in China. They never talked against communists, who killed hundreds of other people in Bengal and Kerala. Hundreds of RSS people were murdered. So for them, they had no mercy. For them, there was no award wapsi. For them, there was no criticism. So let us be fair. It's an ideological war. You are losing the war now, so you are showing your colors. Don't try to. I am not saying that you have no right. You have a right, but don't try to cover. Your Anand Patwar himself very clearly said that it's an ideological issue. Let us be clear. What Nathuram Godse? We are living in what age? You know the charges are wrong. You keep on repeating wrong history. That is the way Goebbels' truth you have done all last 60 years. Nehru's followers, communist followers who are ruling all the institutions have been making false allegations all these years. People have been dragged to court. They have to apologize. You still talk in the same nonsense. Please make sensible allegations. Make very criticism.
Let me go back to her with that question. But Anandita, this
is curbing. If FTI chairman is not of your choice, you talk at intolerance?
One second.
What kind of intolerance?
Anandita,
did you not were people
not killed in the Muzaffarnagar riots also? And if you talk about intolerance, what about the emergency? Have we not seen major periods of intolerance in the past? Why is this happening?
We fought for emergency. Communists never fought against emergency.
You may not have been, but a lot of these people returning their awards today were around.
1962 were they supported Chinese. What are you talking about? First, read your current history, forget the old history.
Everybody was around during the Muzaffarnagar riots.
Did anybody speak?
You know, all of us here talking today were around during the Muzaffarnagar riots. Why weren't there protests like this against the Samajwadi Party government then?
Yes.
I am sorry.
Why don't you protest when
I think CR Keswan wants to come in with a counterpoint. Yes, CR Keswan. Who decides which ideology is best for this country?
No.
Who are going to be the arbiters of ideology now?
States you want to blame Modi.
Can I just make a point? Can I make a point? I'll make a point. The first thing is this. I'll just make 2 points, please. First thing is BJP.
What is this intolerance of the Congress here?
In 2013, can I please speak? In Amartya Sen in 2013, when he questioned the credibility of Narendra Modi ji to become Prime Minister, it was the BJP MP who asked him to give back his Bharat Ratna. So don't lecture about tolerance. You did please go back and look at what he did. Second point is this. No, when the Prime Minister took over, everybody believes. Can I speak, please? When the Prime Minister spoke from the ramparts of the Red Fort, please, no, I can shout you out. Please don't do this. When the Prime Minister spoke from the ramparts of the Red Fort, he said,
I know you can shout.
For 10 years.
Shout sensibly.
But what did the BJP do? The BJP immediately made Yogi Adityanath, reply on the communal debate. Then the elections come, this polarizing message becomes very, very shrill. In Delhi elections, I don't want to say this on national TV, there, MP says, Minister says, Ramzadeh, Haramzadeh, the Prime Minister draws a Lakshman Rekha. Then what happens? You have somebody calling, Godse a patriot. Leave alone. Take October 16th. You had a much publicized affair. Said the Prime Minister was angry. Amit Shah called these people and said, you can't.
Our ML has been arrested in UP for inciting riots. You know that?
Exactly. Let's not get into this anecdotal debate for the simple reason that for every example you cite, Mr. Kesavan, the BJP will have a counter. So I want to ask you just the plain question, the fundamental question on who is going to decide which ideology is best for the country. Sambit Patra also wants to come in.
The Prime Minister has lost credibility. No, if the Prime Minister...
Kamal Mitra Chinoy and Sambit Patra both want to come in. Let me try and get Kamal Mitra Chinoy into this. Professor Chinoy, who is going to decide which ideology this country deserves?
Number one, I'd like to say that you can find things on both sides. The fact is that in the freedom struggle, the RSS was founded only in 1925. The Jan Sangh was founded in the 50s. These people were not part of the freedom struggle. So what the gentleman said about their history going back 1,000 years and ours only beginning in 1947, he should remember there are a category of people called Dalits who have been oppressed for thousands of years. That is what we are against. We want a democratic, secular society. But I believe that a Democrat should agree if the other side has a procession against him.
What makes you decide and who can decide that the right-wing ideology is not democratic or secular? That's my question. Who decides that?
I don't accept the BJP RSS
Hindu by definition secular.
As secular. That is why when Gandhi was killed,
Hindu is the most pluralist religion,
banned the RSS.
not Islam or Christianity.
And subsequently lifted the ban.
And the same Patel, who the RSS
Vallabhbhai Patel asked RSS to join Congress. Why? You know that?
So the BJP
Mr. Patel asked RSS to join Congress. Why?
Principles.
He said, I will lift the ban if RSS joins Congress. If RSS was a bad organization, why did you want to join Congress?
That is wrong.
Have you any answer for that? Don't quote selectively.
It is disruptive of democracy.
Don't quote selectively. Patel invited RSS to join Congress.
No, but again, that fundamental question, I think it's very difficult to really find that answer. Sambit Patra, you wanted to come into the debate. Again, who is going to decide? Is it going to be you because you're in government, or this very vocal group who have, who are spread out across academia, the film world, the thinkers, who are going to decide which ideology is better for the country? Sambit Patra.
The scientists, you're forgetting the scientists.
The scientists, yes, of course.
Who have never actually been so vocal.
Okay, fair enough. Let him respond.
Has happened in the debate. If the people of this country are watching this debate, they would have realized that BJP is the most tolerant party. Look at the spokesperson of Bharatiya Janata Party. I've been listening to everyone, not uttering a single word. And
let's not miss the smile on your face, Shambit, sitting there with the smile on your face. But the fact is that there are some very pertinent questions that have been put to you also.
I will not
speak.
So
please do. I think if we just... Sambit Patra, if we just gleam out some of the most important points from what Professor Chinoy just said, he did say that there is, reason to find fault on both sides. And I think it's important that he began with that, because that is a fact. Now, when you are asked questions about the kind of inflammatory statements that have been made by Dr. Mahesh Sharma, Sadhvi Prachi, and so many other leaders, the fact is that is the reason why this growing perception of intolerance has come up. Can you deny that? And isn't it reason for caution? Isn't it time that the top leadership decides to do something about? You can't laugh off those comments, Shambit Patra. Those comments cannot be laughed off. They have to be condemned.
The debate has been conducted, and that is sending a message. The debate is conducted in a way in which questions are longer, no time is given for the answer. The debate is conducted in a way in which
that's not true.
The participants. No, I have no hurry.
Please answer now.
No problems. You can ask questions.
Yeah,
you cannot give us time. We'll be tolerant. I'll be extremely tolerant.
No, we're giving you all the time now, Shambit Patra.
I have no complaints.
Time is yours now. Time is yours now. Your answer, please.
See, this message I wanted to give out to the debaters. I was listening to everyone, and I'm sorry, Kamal Mitra Chinoy lost the voice on his own. No one suffocated him. He shouted to an extent
don't
he
go
lost
into
his
that.
voice.
Shambit, we've given you time to answer the question, please. I'm requesting you answer the question. Don't talk about other panelists' voices. Yeah, so just answer the question.
I'm giving you an example. Tina, you have a problem with me? I have no problem. I can
No,
quit
I
the
want
debate,
an answer. Shambit Patra, you know I definitely don't.
Tina,
but if you're going to waste time here on air talking about Professor Chinoy's voice.
I'll be most tolerant and I would walk away. If you have just say a word, we don't want to tolerate your views.
We want your answer. We want your... Okay, Shambit, we want your answer. Shambit, let's not beat about the bush. Your answer, please.
Why I said my dear friend Kamal Mitra Chinoy lost his voice by shouting himself, because I wanted to make a simile. All those who are saying that their voice have been stifled, in fact are shouting the loudest, to an extent that they're losing their voice on their own. Why do I have to shout over them? Their whole agenda is to destabilize this government, to see to it that we shout above them and we appear aggressive and arrogant, which I'm sorry we are not going to do. I don't want to appear aggressive. I don't want to be arrogant. I want to be normal, cool, because I have governance at my disposal. I have to work. And I have over here a piece of paper, which shows as to how this government in the last 25 days has achieved 10 big points. Just give me 10 seconds. Number one, top of the league for the Greenfield FDI. We are the #1 FDI destination of the world today.
Shambit, we are not talking about FDI. Shambit, answer the question. The question was about Yogi Adityanath. The question was about Kailash Vijay Vargiya. The question was about Dr. Mahesh Sharma. The question was about Sadhvi Prachi. The question, the question to you was, just a second, we'll come to you in a second, but I want Shambit to respond to that. What about the comments made by these members of your party? You know, members of parliament, senior leaders of the party, union ministers. What about these comments, Shambit? These are the comments that have triggered the fire of this entire tolerance debate.
Absolutely.
Tina, can I ask a question? Tina, one of the members of the Congress party cut his wife into pieces and burned the wife's pieces in tandoor. How many people returned their votes? How many people saw tolerance and intolerance in that? And now they will say, what is all? What is all? When a woman was cut into pieces and she was put into tandoor, then you were tolerant towards that? And today you say some member of parliament has passed a comment killing people, chopping them into pieces and putting in tandoor is a far bad act.
No, wait, Vinay Shukla and CR Keswan both want to respond to you. Vinay Shukla, you first. Vinay Shukla.
Yeah, but please, no, you are absolutely bang on. The sense of growing intolerance is because of the statements that are being made by the fringe group leaders, by the BJP leaders, by ministers like Mahesh Sharma. It is because of them, and at the helm of it, Mr. Narendra Modi, who is very eloquent, who has tremendous oratorial skill because of his, in fact, he was able to sway me also, and I voted for him, is absolutely silent, and there is no, and whatever he says, say for example when he expresses his displeasure, it is absolutely, it's like diplomatic displeasure. It's couched in, parliamentary language. It is not at all effective, and instead of just making statements that it is it's hurtful and it should not be done, there is no action being taken against these leaders until.
Okay, so you're saying that a good cop, bad cop routine is at play over here, where on the one hand you have these muted condemnations, but very vocal inflammatory statements. No, Mr. Shukla, I will come back here and also get Sambit Patra to respond to that because we have to head into a very quick break. The response, just a second, Mr. Shukla, we have to head into a 2-minute break. A response from Sambit and your rebuttal after that. Back in 2 minutes.
Thanks very much. You're back on the Newshour. And going right back to Vinay Shukla, you were making a point there just before the break, and I want to come back to you on that point. But even as we put the question to the BJP, even as we question the kind of statements that have been made by senior BJP leaders, inflammatory statements, the question of whether or not this is some sort of politically backed movement, this award Vapsi, also stands. Why I ask you that is because, firstly, we're talking about this conclave, which is, of course, being presented by a Congress think tank where a lot of these intellectuals are coming together, including Irfan Habib, just one example, and they are going to be part of that conclave, using that as a platform to raise their voice. Wouldn't you, being a creative person yourself, also say that if Anupam Kher stands on the other side of the fence, then he's a voice of reason too and has a right to really raise his opinion as well?
He absolutely has a right. There is no denying the fact, and in fact, if one denies that he should not hold this march, then one is actually not being tolerant. I mean, there is, you see, we have a pluralistic society. Everybody has a right to express his views, but in what way? That it doesn't hurt another community, and there is no voice of, there is no hue of hatred hidden in it. What is happening is today, you see the kind of provocative statements that are being made. And that is targeted at one particular community, or say, for example, of the people who are speaking the voice of reason, who are saying that India is a pluralistic society. They are being targeted as anti.
Okay, so difference of opinion is fine, Sambit Patra, but why target these people for speaking out, Sambit Patra?
No, I will in fact expose the hypocrisy. Today, none other than the former Prime Minister, Mr. Manmohan Singh, was speaking. And even Mr. Shuklaji right now said why Mr. Modi is silent and not speaking. Mr. Manmohan Singh said that in fact we should condemn the killing of the writers, which is absolutely right. But did Mr. Manmohan Singh and Mr. Shukla forget that Mr. Dabolkar was killed on August 28, 2013? Should not Mr. Manmohan Singh clarify as to why he, as the Prime Minister then, did not speak? Why did he choose silence? And why Mr. Shukla did not see the silence of Manmohan Singh then, but today he is trying to question Mr. Narendra Modi? This shows the selectivity of the brigade of award returnees.
Sambit, you see, there is Mr. Sambit Patra, there is one reason. The reason being that, say for example, when Mahesh Sharma makes a statement, or this BJP leader makes a statement that the Karnataka CM who says that I'll eat beef should be beheaded, should not be an action taken against him. What kind of a statement is this? If Shah Rukh Khan says yes, there is going...
Let me remind you, there is one more Congress MLA today who said that I will behead the BJP leader as well. And let me also remind you,
then
a Congress leader has burned his grandchildren and daughter-in-law. But did you condemn that?
I hold no brief for Congress or for... Of course, I am condemning it right now.
No, you hold that brief, sir. That is quite evident.
No, let's not get personal with that. But since you asked a question of the former Prime Minister, Dr. Manmohan Singh, C.R. Keswan should get a chance to respond. C.R. Keswan.
Why did not he speak about Dabolkar? But today you ask Mr. Modi to speak about Dabolkar.
Please make a point.
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, because he is the leader of those people. He is the leader of those people.
He is the leader of those people.
All right, gentlemen, we're going across to C.R. Keswan. Please allow him to speak. Okay, gentlemen, give us a minute. Give us a minute. We are going to C.R. Keswan. Let him make his point also.
Can I just make a quick point? Kiran Mazumdar, sir, just a second. Please give me a second. I'll make a quick point, sir.
If Mr.
I am just saying this, Tina and Padmaja. Kiran Mazumdar Shah.
Vinay Shukla, we are coming back to you. Vinay, I assure you, yes, Vinay Shukla, we are coming back to you in just a minute. We are coming back to you in just a minute. Just a minute. Let's see our Keswan speak, yes.
Kiran Mazumdar Shah and Narayana Murthy before the 2014 elections were completely openly supporting Narendra Modi ji. There is no doubt about it. Today, they have squarely condemned and criticized the climate of intolerance. Why are you feeling guilty? Why do you think it's on the Prime Minister? If it's not on the Prime Minister, let him come and explain. They are saying a climate of intolerance has been created not by the fringe, by ministers, MPs and people belonging to the mainstream of the BJP. And if the Prime Minister is not able to control them, then let him accept he is helpless. Because, and I'll tell you one thing, the rules is simple. They will come and vitiate the atmosphere. Then everybody will say, we dissociate from the statement, we dealing from the statement, you know, this is not our statement, but the people of Bihar will disassociate from you. They are going to completely say this is not, we are not going to be fit for this.
Okay, let's leave Bihar out of this for a while. Sambit Patra respond.
Before it was development. Today they have kept, the mask is out. They are completely polarizing. There is, you see that, I just want to just raise one point before Sambit speaks. You see the debate and the discourse in Bihar. It was about beef politics, it was about Pakistan. That's all. You discussed nothing else, and the EC came down and banned your two advertisements because it is openly, polarizing.
No, Bihar we will know. Let's leave Bihar out of this for a while. The results will tell us what people think about what went on. Sambit Patra respond. Let's talk about what's happening right now. Sambit Patra.
Please, can I come in? I want to make a very pertinent point. It is since morning that the Congress spokespersons have been shouting about Pakistan. Why were they colorblind to the statement of Arundhati Rai? When Arundhati Rai says that Kashmir is not an integral part of India, none of these award returnees wanted to return their award. They were smiling at Arundhati Rai, in fact, only meaning that, well, yes, Arundhati Rai was right. In fact, Congress went to the extent of promoting Arundhati Rai. So definitely, Congress always has an agenda as far as Pakistan is concerned. When a terrorism and...
what did Amit Shah mean by saying Pakistan will burst crackers?
Just a second.
What did he mean, Sambit?
Please, I was
when
not...
He said Pakistan will burst crackers.
Please be tolerant. Please be tolerant.
Please make sense too.
I was not...
You're not making sense. You're deflecting from the issue.
Shambit, if you're just going to... Shambit, yeah, if you're... No, Shambit, the point is... Shambit, you're raising points against the Congress. You're raising points against the Congress. But two wrongs don't make a right. So answer the question about what the BJP leaders have said. What wrongs? No, you can't point out. You answer the question that's been asked to you about what your leaders have said.
Personally, and he apologized.
No.
He said Mr. Irfan Habib's son-in-law wrote the article in Moody. Today he apologized.
Government in last 20 days.
Because you again, you were intolerant and you accused somebody. Because somebody said something different from what you say.
Don't send government measures. And you say that I'm talking regression. I want to talk on facts. I want to talk on facts.
Okay, gentlemen. No, we are not going to go across to Professor Chinoy. Gentlemen, yeah, we'll come to you. 1 second. Professor Chinoy, there is a question here. Now, Shambit Patra, Shambit, 1 second. No, Shambit, I'm bringing up your point. Shambit Patra, I'm bringing up your point. Now, Shambit Patra talked about the fact that both Narendra Dabholkar and MM Kalburgi were killed when the responsibility of law and order lay with the Congress in those states. Secondly, I also asked you about Professor T.J. Joseph, whose hands were chopped off. When these kind of incidents happen, did we see this kind of unified protest? Professor Chinoy?
Look, number one, I'm very sorry to hear an anchor say or ask that who is backing the protest against intolerance. Isn't it Arun Jaitley who said it's a manufactured protest? Isn't it Arun Jaitley who said this is political intolerance? There are two political contenders, the secularists and those who are soft to hard communalists. Now they both have a right to put their views across. But why is there an allegation that only one has political backing and the other, people like Anupam Kher, whose wife Kiran Kher is a BJP MP, that there is pure as driven snow and they have no political thing? This is a political fight. This is an ideological fight. This is a fight between secularism and communalism.
And it's been asked directly to Anupam Kher as well. Please be rest assured that question has been asked. There's no doubt about that. Quickly.
But on a program, if you say one party is backing one group and don't say the other party is backing the other group.
Just to set the record straight, the very specific statement was, is there? Because there is such an allegation, is there?
What Mahesh Sharma said And what Somnath said, said was against the law.
I open both eyes.
Who is
Don't
the
be one-eyed intellectual.
Yes, so Professor Chinoy, we've asked that very question right here on the debate tonight.
So there is
that particular question. That question about Mahesh Sharma and Sangeet Som and Sadhvi Prachi and all of them, that question's been asked here tonight.
And my last point is, the secularists should hold their fire at times.
Relax,
so my
Professor Mitra, relax.
I know he belongs to a big party,
no one is
but please don't
your
yell
voice,
at all of us.
Relax.
Okay, I think Ratan Sharda wanted to respond. Ratan first Sambit Patra and then Ratan Sharda.
Left secular lobby has abused Hindus, has abused RSS all their life. RSS never shut their mouth.
Can I 2 minutes? See, yes. I'll narrate an interesting thing. Recently, when this Indo-African meet was going on, do you know what the Egyptian president who had come for this meet said when he was returning to Egypt? He said, we used to watch this television channel and all the television channels in our hotel room every day, and we felt that it would be really difficult coming out on the streets of India because the situation is tense. It seems lakhs of dead bodies would be all around us. But when we came out, we saw people laughing, smiling, making merry, roaming about freely. That kind of environment the congressmen and their supporters have created.
Okay, interesting point, and I want to put the final question to CR Keswan on that, which was exactly you've led into the exact question that I wanted to ask CR Keswan. Is this not fueling paranoia? You have a problem with intolerance, but when you go on and on about it and use hyperbole, you will admit a fair level of hyperbole has crept in. You are only fueling that paranoia. Then how can you hope for reconciliation?
If it is paranoia, why are you having a TV show if there is no ounce of truth or worry in it? Why do you have a debate?
Nobody's saying there's no truth.
All over the country?
No, nobody's saying there's no truth. The question, CR Keswan, is that this debate, is it raging beyond what it should be, leading to a sense of paranoia?
The basic problem here is, by questioning the way in which anybody, you said there is going to be a counter march, let them do a counter march. It's a democracy. They are very, free to express their ways. The problem here is you're questioning the way people are dissenting, which is basically hitting at the very fundamental of democracy. How does it matter when people can express their way? They were entitled to their awards by their own merit and recognition. And
they have questioned. They have not hit you.
How can you question the
Keswan, they have right to question you.
The BJP is rattled.
Mr. Keswan, they have right to question you.
The whole country is witnessing it, and not just the Congress party. People who are objective, people who are neutral, people who are the conscience of the society are coming out and protesting because, why will they take on the government? They are not a political party. They are coming out because they are uncomfortable.
Okay, so in conclusion, perhaps the only thing that we can say is that the welcome thing is that you've got the discourse from both sides now being expressed openly. If you've had a protest march, now there's going to be a counter march. If you have an award vapasi, there are those who are opposing it. Let there be a healthy debate. Let both points of view be expressed equally. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for joining us on debate number 1 on Newshour.